Thanks, Rafa. We're here about to get into our third game of 5. It looks like my co-caster has actually finally made it back from his trek in the mountains and fallen asleep on his kitchen floor. TJ.
Yeah, what?
TJ. We got game 3, man.
Hang on, my hat's tangled in my mic. I didn't plan that out.
You keep forgetting how many games we got. Come on, we got some more going.
It's a best of 5?
Still, yeah. Semi-final best of 5 here at Challengers Uprising. Do you need me to plug the teams too?
No, I need some water. Hang on.
Okay, understandable.
Right. It's not breaking anymore. This is garbage.
there it is. Drinking the floor, as all great explorers do, TJ. Oh, that's uncomfortable. That really just
Welcome back to Cup, where we have the latest in Cup technology.
That's what we're here for. Just wait until we get sponsored by a cup.
It is our semi-final Barrage taking that second game of the series, bringing us all the way to Game 3 at a tied scoreline here in Game 3, and I'm real excited. This is a Galio first ban and a Ralph first ban. Nothing changes, Matt.
I am so unsurprised by the Galio first ban. I personally, as someone biased towards APA, because I love seeing really good roaming mid laners, and that is what APA is, I would love to see a Galio again, because he is so good on it. We also might see the Twisted Fate in a similar... Oh, look at that! Look at that! What was just banned, TJ? That's
You're
a Twisted
so
Fate.
Smart! Your brain is
my
so
brain
big!
Huge.
That's it. He had to shave his hair to make more space for brain cells. Let's talk about the first pick phase. We did get Winston, what was about to say, back on nude here. But the Hecarim has been highly contested this series. Barrage looked real good when they picked it up. And that is why they will never get it again. Except for this time, maybe. Azudir does get picked through SolaFide, remain giving Winston what he has shone on this series. Barrage are thinking about their jungle pickup. If that went through, I would be psyched. But it looks like instead it'll be the run back. Why fix what ain't broke?
So, I think in a similar vein, I expect to see SolaFide go for their draft again, because I don't feel like the draft was their problem still. I genuinely feel like a lot of it was just their top laner got absolutely shut down in lane, and there was nothing that they could do about it into the mid game. By the time they got there, Barrage was huge, especially Gorica. And in response, SolaFide, though, have changed a few things up in their mid and top lane. We have the Orianna and the Gnar.
I really like Tuesday grabbing the Orianna here. It is something that Tuesday himself is very good at, but it is also something that looked real good for APA, so they're robbing they're robbing Barrage of that star mid lane character. We also do get Karma here. I want to highlight this is a flex pick for Barrage. It has been run in mid by APL. It also did look really good against the Senna TK. And Azure pointing out, wow, I like that. You had lined it all up and everything.
Yeah.
The Senna will get banned out by Barrage, which means that they are running deliberately to shut down everything that SolaFide has been winning through.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see them force Apollo and Zeyzal onto a different lane. This is something that I was calling out in game number 2. That was what I was expecting them to do for their adaptation. Ban out the Senna, take away the Senna-Tahm Kench combination, and force Apollo and Zeyzal to fight at all. Because that's not what you have to do on Tahm Kench Senna. Sure, you can't die in trades and just AFK in the middle of your lane, but you have a ton of sustain between the both of you. You have so much get out of jail free from the Tahm Kench. Now we see 280 carry bans in a row there from Barrage.
Yeah, they are really targeting Apollo, which says to me Barrage want to change things up a bit and maybe play down towards that bottom lane. They're maybe not confident that they can beat out that Gnar that Dokla has locked in for a cycle. They're not confident that they can shove through that lane like they did in game number 2. And it's a shift in focus towards, hey, can we get Gorka out ahead? I'm really interested, because that also, of course, implies that we're not going to see a big star carry from APA. That does imply that they're not going to be putting too much towards APA dominating the lane. We do get an Ornn, so that probably means that this Ornn is going topside, although we have seen strange things this season. But that will probably be a fairly soft lane into the Gnar, like we were talking about. They're not trying to win through that anymore. It is just, hey, that Ornn topside will be fine, and we can focus our attention elsewhere. Oh,
no more Ornn mid, please. Oh, Varus is back, baby. Let's go.
I'm psyched. Oh, Varus TK, it would be perfect. Oh. It would make my day, and it does. Okay. Now, what do you do about that? Is this Karma really playing into Varus?
I think it would be fine. I just think Varus TK is essentially more of the same. That to me says that they do not want to focus bottom lane. They want to allow Apollo to farm up. See what they can do about that. Lulu.
Okay, so Lulu, if this is locked in, probably going to the support role with Winter, and that Karma will stay mid with APA. And that really does mean that Gorka has to be a teamfight carry. APA's Karma hurts, it slaps, as the kids will say, but it is not his Orianna, it cannot be. And so are you perplexed by the terminology of the youth?
A little bit, TJ. Just coming from your mouth, it sounds so
hot
strange.
fire. However, it cannot be the hard carry that an Orianna would be in that mid lane. So, failing APA just blowing open Tuesday's lane, which I don't think is likely to happen, all eyes should be down there towards the bottom lane between Varus and Jinx, between Gorka and Apollo.
I like the Lulu, like I do in literally any composition that wants to have a hyper carry. Lulu is so great at enabling hyper carries, but I think more importantly, she could shut down Tahm Kench. If you just whimsy him before he can eat Apollo, you can wail away on that AD carry and not have to worry about the Devour saving them. And I think that's one of the strong points of the Lulu. Of course, into the later stages of the game, you have the enabling of Gorica, you have the Ardent Sensor coming out, giving a ton of attack speed there to Gorica, a ton of bonus damage. That's great, but I want to see its effect in lane. I want to see it put some pressure onto Varus TK that, again, we have not seen yet this game. Serious.
Game 3! Series tied up 1-1, Matt.
All right, I'm ready for it. I want to see Barrage run it back. I want to see that they are capable of playing again without a massive lead. And that's what I want to see for SolaFide as well, because both times we've seen a victory, it's been through shutting down the enemy top lane entirely. And I think if you're going on to the finals, you need to be able to play some way other than that. So I really want to see an even early game, at least in the top lane, and priorities coming from other lanes. Leads coming from other lanes.
There we go. So here's my worry. I don't know that Barrage have the draft necessary to win their team fights. And they certainly do have the components that are good for team fights, but last game was a lot off of Fnatic and APA's combo. The Orianna Hecarim certainly often hyped. And we don't have that here. In fact, it's a little rough, I think, for Gorka in the backlines. And that is a stress point for this team, where we have seen many team fights today where Gorka is just found out at a weird angle with nobody to support them. And that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, it puts a lot more pressure on the AD carry, but I do want to highlight, before we get into Red Scare territory, about the damage profile here for Barrage. Fnatic is going to be putting out damage in these team fights. We have seen his Hecarim do damage. We have seen his Hecarim get ahead. Granted, the damage profile will be heavily AD favored, but it's not like the Jinx is their literal only threat. I do agree, though, that if Gorica goes down in the middle of these fights, it is going to be a pseudo-disaster for Barrage.
Pseudo-disaster. I always like your turns of phrase, man.
Thanks, TJ.
Yeah, I do also think we may be sleeping on APA's Karma. And that's just because I have limited data set. I have seen the results. I have skimmed through games where we see APA's Karma, and it always looks solid, but not carry solid. It always looks like a teamfight presence that isn't going to be popping people.
Oh, wow.
That is a limited data set.
They're
This is
just going
warded.
for this steal. They don't know it's warded. This is a disaster in the making.
Apollo will be caught out here, driven forward by Fnatic. How do you like that blue buff now? He is first blood, and it goes over to Gorka. It could not be worse. A double kill to Gorka. Barrage's bottom lane start off on the exact right foot.
You know what, TJ? This is great for me. I was saying I want to see a game that doesn't start by the top lane getting absolutely dumpstered. I didn't get that. What we got this game was the bot lane getting absolutely dumpstered by 3 minutes.
Woo!
Woohoo! We got to change.
Do not know what better a start you could have wished for. Gorka certainly feeling real good after that. Immediately after we maybe doubt the damage profile of the Jinx. Oh, this is going to be worse.
Dokla in a little bit of trouble. Has some good kiting, though. PCL
Flash.
forcing the flash out. Oh, not going to land.
Okay, but the narrative out of this absolutely has to be, what are you doing to shut down Gorka from here on out?
That's a great question, because normally what you do is you either wait for the mid game, try and get scaled a little bit faster than them, but Varus similarly does need some scaling. Maybe assassinate them. I could see Dokla Tuesday being a good combo in the mid game, but it is really difficult right now.
Yeah, because you're certainly not going to be able to trade even with this Jinx in line at this point. Especially after second back, which is going to be in a moment. We get a replay. This is from the 1950s, if you're curious. Television cameras weren't too good back then. A dodge from Dokla.
It was a dark and stormy night in the top lane. I was investigating some dame in distress. That's Dokla, by the way.
Then this 8-foot-tall fire troll walked into my office. Let me tell you, Matt, it lags for days. Chased me all the way out of lane, through a bush, and into the river.
Teleport into the top lane. I have no idea what we just stumbled upon, TJ, but it sure is something. Tuesday TP's in, immediately
Winston
dies. APA dies as well to Winston, as you pointed out, who's putting out a ton of damage. PCL doesn't have flash over the wall.
No!
Fnatic's trying to Q over the
Dokla!
wall. Dokla's low. PCL still alive. What is this early game fight? Oh my god. Fnatic goes back in. Turn the charge. The knockup. The turn is out.
It's two.
Dokla's low. The double kill for Fnatic. What is this early game?
Barrage find 3 kills, I guess.
Sure.
Is your summary? Winston shows up here. I actually do think Winston got away. It may only have been 2. Okay, so Winston sets up APA underneath the turret. APA goes down. Immediately after this, you just have a complete mess where Winston does not know when to say, hey, we got a kill, and it is still going. Tuesday here in the mid lane will be focused down by Fnatic. That is another kill, but it is a 1-for-1 trade. Barrage find 4 kills in the exchange.
You know,
5 to 1, Matt.
it's a shutdown for Tuesday in the mid lane. That's
Woo!
good for SolaFide. But other than that, I have no idea how they get back into this game at this point. My God, that's a 4-0, 4-1. Sorry, Hecarim upside in the jungle. Goric is still 2-0, and we were talking about this. We were like, the only 2 damage sources on the team are Gorka and Fnatic. You want to guess who's fed, TJ?
Gorka and Fnatic.
Yes, exactly correct. And look, it's going to keep going because Winston's about to die to APA, who's now 1-1-2. So this is like the perfect storm of what Barrage want. I do not know how SolaFide get back in this game. I'm genuinely puzzled.
Matt, Nibiria Clendaniel, this is a 4-kill Hecarim.
At 7 minutes.
7-minute mark. I legitimately don't know. Go next?
I guess. Like, I'm kind of feeling that for them. It's really rough. I was about to come up with some, well, you know, they can get back in the game by doing X. I don't know. I would like to see them
Solid for
prove me
X.
wrong. This is the start if they can get this game off.
Winston with the engage. We'll go for Winter, not Gorka. Interesting strategy.
Gorka's
We'll
just
see how
hurt.
it pays out. Winter goes down. Fnatic finds the turn. Zazel will rescue Apollo, but for how long? As Gorka flashes forward to chase. Gorka stepped too far forward. It worked out brilliantly. They'll find the stun onto Fnatic. They'll find the kill onto Fnatic. Tuesday gets it, and I don't believe it. SolaFide are absolutely right. Back in this, man.
You can't make this up, folks. This is peak NA amateur right here. I love it. There was no way back into the game, and then suddenly they were like, you know what? We're just going to keep going. We lost Winter, but we've still got this. And I think it was just a step too far for Barrage. They were feeling themselves a little too much. And watch how far Apollo kites for. Just chills out in that side of the map. And Gorka can't find any damage whatsoever. I don't even think had mana for rockets, so it's stuck in minigun range.
I'm still hung up on Gorka with no mana, as you said, flashing forward into 3 players. He's like, I'm gonna get this trade. Let's go, baby.
I'm gonna get excited and get out. You got out, but in a casket. Don't think that's what you were looking for.
Okay, all right.
Woo!
League of Legends, reset.
Esports.
Even game state at this point. You can tell 16k between both teams. It is a dead heat. Barrage do have the lead in kills. They do have the lead in drakes, but all of that is temporary. You know, it's eternal, man. Tuesday.
What, TJ?
Tuesday is eternal.
He sure is. He's gonna happen every week for the rest of time.
This is a real scary mid laner. Tuesday putting on another consecutive star performance. Now has the potential off of that bot lane fight to go big in this game.
This is absolutely crazy. This is the craziest thing that I have seen this split. Because we've seen like some wild games before. None of them had a 4-kill hack room by 7 minutes, and then that lead immediately disappearing because of an engage in the following 30 seconds. Like, that is just a confluence of North America that I have not seen in a long time.
I've never seen a lead like that evaporate like GameStop holdings in Robin Hood.
Oh man, that cuts deep to like 5 people in chat who invested.
Yeah, I'm really excited for those 5 people to get angry at me on Twitter, though.
No.
All the forge gone. Top lane fight. APA in mid. Shockwave will land, but they've still got the kill. Tuesday is slammed down. The full engage, Call the Forge God, etc. in the top side. Did not find Dokla, who burned Flash, but stayed alive.
Really good return there by APA, pulling back the team. And for all the talk we had about that evening out the game state, we do have to remember what the win conditions are. Barrage really just need to kind of chill till mid-game where Gorka becomes their all-consuming carry. And on that front, they're still on track. They are still fine with that. But SolaFide want to accelerate the game, and they're starting to get their way as well.
Rift Herald summoned here, SolaFide don't manage to find anything in those last couple of trades, as you talked about. The gold did pass briefly over to APA in the mid lane, who is certainly doing pretty good. Did complete Moonstone a moment ago. Unfortunately, with that Rift Herald and the success of spending of that Rift Herald down in the bot lane, Matt, guess who has the gold lead? I'll give you 2 guesses. Was it the team that got a 5k gold lead in the first 10 minutes of the game?
My heart says yes.
You are incorrect.
Oh.
Check out where that gold is as well. That's devastating.
Yeah, just mid and bot. It's exactly where you want it to for the side of SolaFide. So they have recovered the most disastrous early game I've seen into a really solid early game. They're even. Somehow. My God. Like, Fnatic's got the Trinity Force at, I think, like 2 minutes ago. That's cool, I guess. But we haven't seen Fnatic since that early game fight. I think just hiding in the jungle until he recovers mentally.
And you're gonna start to see the Mythics complete over on SolaFide as well. They are hitting their back cycle right now. They're going to return and they skirmish around the Cloud Drake. If we get it, will likely be more telling than everything we've experienced today. You said we haven't seen Fnatic in a while. I want to highlight what he was up to. He was trying to make that play happen in the top side. He did burn Dokla's flash, but nothing else came of it.
Hey, we like this. We like when people focus on objectives. This will be Barrage's second dragon of the game.
I do like that.
13 minutes in, too.
Like, that was a very Blues Clues vibe.
I do my best to emulate my childhood heroes. Blue, not Steve.
Steve. Real bastard. Pressure will
Actually, I think unironically, the original actor was kind of a bastard.
This is Dokla dealing with some pressure. Bot side, Winter and Gorka do maintain their own pressure. You do finally get those backs from Apollo and Zeyzal.
Sorry, TJ, I was just thinking about how I'm going to get angry DMs from Steve stands after this.
I don't think that's a thing.
If ever there were a way to find out about them, this would be the best. Zeyzal and Apollo clearing out the lane. Both AD carries have their Kraken Slayers at this point, so...
How I like to discover new groups of people. Them sending me death threats.
That is not true. Do not send anyone death threats. Just feel like I need to clarify sometimes.
Doesn't work. Apollo will take that turret if he's left unattended. Yeah, that turret's going down. First turret of the game does go to SolaFide. Apollo receiving the requisite amount of gold. Has completed first item map this time. If you're curious, completely negating the early game punish of Gorka, where they did catch Apollo with his hand in the mousetrap of that blue buff.
So the one big advantage that Barrage are going to have, regardless of game state pretty much, is that Varus is a very, very short range AD carry. I think he's sitting at 550. And Gorka, of course, on Jinx is going to cap out at the 600s. So in these later team fights, it is going to be a lot easier for Gorka to get off his damage than it will be for Apollo. But that is, of course, what the Tahm Kench is for. What I'm looking for is if Zeyzal does to Apollo what we have seen happen to Gorka in several fights, where he just gets banned.
Don't look caught out. Will be shut down.
I'm happy with how quiet this top lane is.
Yeah, later. Tuesday and Kai focus in on a turret in the meantime. They, I think, will take this trade if they can get significant damage onto the turret. They get about halfway, probably not enough. So Barrage get some gold up in the top side. The reason that was so easy, they burned Dokla's flash earlier. You can see Dokla's flash is back up now, which says to me they knew the timings on that real well.
Yeah, it just shows really good knowledge and heads-up plays coming out from Barrage.
Tracking timers.
Yeah, I'm glad to see they're keeping their head in the game even after that disastrous early game, and how slingshotty, I guess it must have felt for them, going from, we're the best, we got this game in the bag, easy one, boys, and going immediately to, oh dear, that is rough. I think that they are still able to keep their head in the game, still keep in mind their win conditions, speaks to how well coached they are, how well practiced they are. This is what I want to see from the semifinal teams here.
Zeyzal and Apollo will not get this top turret, but it is very close. And that would be the second chunk of turret gold in Apollo's pocket. It was definitely being funneled this game. We saw an absence of that in game 1 and 2 of the series, where Apollo was on the fasting Senna. Not really receiving a whole lot of gold, not really being the focus, just kind of, you'll get there eventually. Eat your veggies. Now come game 3, all of a sudden Apollo on this Varus is getting gold thrown their way, and that will make this Varus a much earlier game threat than his Senna was.
I think that'll be key for SolaFide, because that was really the problem in games 1 and 2. One of the problems, I should clarify. Where the Senna just became a threat far after it was like relevant for it to be a threat, because Gorka had already been a threat. You know, it was just the power spike timings did not match what SolaFide needed to happen. because while that lane, Senatom Kench, is basically impenetrable, it also isn't going to be crushing any lanes. You're not going to be like, oh god, Senatom Kench went 7-0. Ooh. Good flash by APA.
Staying ahead of Tuesday's Shockwave there in the mid lane. Has been burned though. Shockwave is a lot shorter cooldown than Flash.
That's true, TJ. Good point. Winston, Winston popping the Rift Herald in the mid lane, trying to force Barrage to do something here, and they are really stuck in this choke.
Yeah, this is a weird position. They'll lose that turret, and they know that, so Barrage don't play to it. Instead, backing down the river. That Rift Herald, as you say, does collide with the tier 2 as well, dropping it down to like one health. Fnatic at the blast cone, setting up for this fight around Drake. They're trying to bait it in, then Fnatic will go on the blast cone, come in on the flank as fast as he can.
They're
Been
really
spotted now, though.
PCL maybe looking for an engage here. Tuesday walking forward. They're getting impatient. Fnatic just going to be able to start up this Ocean Drake. They're going for it.
Shockwave!
Onto 3 by the Chain of Corruption to follow it up. Winston looking for the stun onto Gorica, but Gorica turns in time. Winston forced to flash out. Fnatic into the backline. Tuesday's low. Finally falls. Gorica gets excited. Apollo is low. Fnatic can't find the kill. Dokla turns it with an ultimate. Gorica still kiting it out as best he can. Will finally fall to Apollo, and SolaFide have turned the fight around.
And they get the Drake back. They steal the Drake in the middle of all that. Winston is able to find the angle. Take a look at this. Shockwave finds 3 players. Follow up, Chain of Corruption. They are locked down. And Winston just walks through it all. Yes, he's tagged by the Ornhorn. No, he does not care. Winston with an absolutely insane performance, and Fnatic's best effort at revenge shuts him down because now he's incredibly low, and Dokla is looking for this angle. It's called a Dokla angle. Grabs 2 of them, slams them into the wall, and that is the team fight. Then and there, the full HP Apollo can just walk forward into the ruins of Barrage and find kill after kill with just the epitome of target selection.
I think the really cool thing about that from Apollo was watching him not only target select, but watching him space in the middle of the fight, saying, okay, there's no way I get to go in for the next like 20 seconds. I'm just going to throw out some poke with Q. I'm going to wait for my time. And then immediately, as soon as that angle was found, walks forward, flashes forward, kills Gorica, and the fight is theirs. I think this is the Apollo we have been looking to see all series, and finally, he's here.
Apollo spacing that well, relying on his teammates to make that fight happen. And I do want to give them the shout-outs as well, because yes, Apollo is the damage and plays his role perfectly, but the initiation, the opportunity was found there by Winston, Tuesday, and Dokla, who were all huge.
Oh no, Winston and Tuesday looking for... Tuesday stuck on the
Tuesday
other side,
doesn't make it! Doesn't get over the wall!
The higher the height, the deeper the fall. From a beautiful team fight to scuffing the blast cone. The duality of man is on full display.
Good for them. Because Fnatic was like right there, and I don't know, that would have been kind of messy.
You know what, you're right. Maybe RNG was looking out for him.
I don't think that's RNG, Matt.
I wanted to be credible. I wanted to give them some
There's
credit.
no RNG to the blast cones.
No, it's just you stand in front of it and you hit the button, but I just really didn't want to point that out. Now you've made me. Thank you.
Okay. Rough times for Tuesday. Still coasting on the joy of that team fight, I assume.
I would be too. It's not his day.
Off the back of it, of course, there was the Drake we talked about. That shuts down the win condition for Barrage. They're not going to have 3 Drakes in their pocket. But it also gives SolaFide a huge gold lead. And a lot of that, yes, off of the back half of the team fight is passed over into Apollo, who will be even more scary going forward.
This is like a case study in how to snowball a tiny lead, right? Because Apollo was super behind in the early game. We already pointed that out. They found one fight back into the game. And from there, they've ballooned that to a 3K gold lead. They've got the Dragon off of it. And really, it was just from that one fight. They found the perfect engage for themselves. They found the perfect way to play it. And off that, Barrage are just... they feel a little lost right now.
Yeah. Barrage feeling a little something. As you can see them like trying to push the middle of the map, and I think lost is a good phrase for it because there wasn't too much intention to any of it. They were never going to challenge that turret. They were letting a split push get really close in the meantime from Tuesday. It wasn't guessing them anything. So it just kind of feel like they're resetting to autopilot, which does happen sometimes. Sometimes you need a moment to reset for your shot caller to go, okay, here is our new win condition, and develop your strategy towards it. They seem to have found an opportunity here on top side, but Tuesday has already slipped away.
The longer the series goes, the more we'll see that kind of mental fatigue as well. So that's something to watch out for, especially as Barrage try and figure out their next move.
Pay attention here to our AD carry gap. As it is starting to build, you're going to see Apollo, especially off their next back, I believe, be able to just full buy up in items and start shredding Gorka. Gorka is still the highest paid, do we feel comfortable saying that? The most gold efficient member in that AD carry pool for Barrage is looking real good right now, but is falling behind, there's no doubt about it. There's your damage per minute stat.
Nice. Sick gamer stat. This will be the 4th Drake of the game, evening the total up for SolaFide, picking the Ocean Drake up.
And this is what I meant by Barrage feeling a little bit lost on the map. You can see they're all just turtling back, and I'm not saying they should be contesting that Ocean Drake, because to be clear, I don't think they win that. But you should be trying to accomplish something with that time. And they were all just resetting, controlling camps. Not pressuring anything, not even forcing a second player to watch over Winston. And that's a little disappointing.
Yeah, I think maybe this gank will be what gets them back in, but Dokla is doing a great job of just destroying Fnatic already. Stride Breaker will not find the slow, but that boomerang toss will. Dokla has the Mega Gnar, but I don't know about that Fnatic. Just, yeah, get out. Go for the Wolves. They're safer.
Man, remember when we said, I don't know how SolaFide get back into this game, GG go next?
Yeah.
I don't. It's too long ago. Baron Fake will be started by SolaFide. Barrage have to back away. We'll turn back around. And I'm pretty sure I can only remember you saying that. I definitely never called the game, so.
Oh, I'm sure, TJ. You were reticent to
I was like, no, don't worry. There'll be a series of really sick team fights and SolaFide will turn the game back over.
Yeah, it was really crazy how that prediction was so accurate.
Oh my god. Real pressure.
They're fighting tooth and nail over that red buff, and I don't know if the risk is worth it, Barrage.
Well, I mean,
Maybe
it's worth it for
out.
Barrage, but SolaFide aren't really accomplishing anything here. I guess I flipped my criticism now. Because it has been, like, we've had a series of long games, and one of the reasons why it has to be said is because SolaFide aren't playing very fast. Even when they do have an advantage on the map, they really do take their time. In this case, Tuesday reset. Jokla came back in, and now they will go for this Baron yet again. Here come Barrage.
Apollo has the damage to be able to force this out, but they're going to immediately peel
There
off instead of trying
Barrage.
for it. Oh, well, good work by Barrage to stop the Baron take, but
Correct.
SolaFide just are not getting anything done on the map.
Yeah, and that gold lead shrunk a bit, so worth noting. Every moment we sit here in a null state, Barrage, by definition, are getting closer. Not just because they're farming pretty decently, especially considering how little map control they have, but also because SolaFide aren't doing a whole lot. They're kind of all AFK near this Baron.
Well, they obviously, like, it's clear why. They want to force the Baron and then try and force some push onto Gorka, because right now, APA and Gorka just have so much wave clear, really hard to push into them. The problem is, you can't force a Baron that everyone else is around, so they either need to find a split going, which is what Dokla's on duty for right now, or just something to pull the attention away from the Baron, because right now it's super obvious that that's what they're going for.
Yeah. Barrage are like, wow, I wonder where SolaFide are. Real Aurelian Soul in the bush energy.
I think that's still my favorite League of Legends moment. Every time I see a new Aurelian Soul, being like, I'm sneaky in this bush here. The stars give him away.
If you heard a little popping there, Matt was drinking water and didn't realize he had to pull his headset mic down to respond to me.
I mean,
so
I
he was
realized.
like, real frantic there, grabbing on the headset.
I realized I just wanted to do it fast so it didn't sound like I left you hanging forever.
I was vibing. It was all right.
Yeah, but I wanted to respond.
Thanks, Matt. This is in Vision, and it's far side worth, so they sure do know it's in Vision. Winston.
No! Okay, let me tell everyone a story about 2019 JDG. They would do this every single game. They'd be like, I'm going to do the Baron. I'm going to do it. Just watch. Oh, you caught me. Never mind. I'm going to back off of the Baron now. And every single game would go to like 35 minutes because no one would just kill the damn Baron. They'd just be coy and coquettish around the Baron. Just kill the thing.
What I'm hearing is that SolaFide are playing like an LPL team.
Only in the most technical of ways, TJ.
Real high praise.
The only playing well that entire split was Lumal. So, I don't know how high praise we want to give him.
SolaFide resetting again.
Look at that!
Winston's up to. Poking the Baron a bit. There are 4 wards for Barrage in that Baron pit.
They see it,
so
guys.
They knew what was up. Cold Forge gun. They'll try and punish that knowledge. But Tuesday has backup.
There we go. Dokla on the flank as well. Barrage are just going to try and run him down, it looks like. No, instead they're going to be going for the Ocean Drake.
It's the right call from Barrage. We'll see what comes of it. Dokla with the engage. Oh, Dokla with a strong front line, but it's all into PCL, who is a late game Ornn and can take those hits. For how long? Half HP, they'll need to back away. Fnatic inside the pit is in trouble, man.
And it looks like Fnatic will not, actually will secure the dragon thanks to Gorica, who is still alive in the backline trying to fire away. Apollo's low, gets eaten up, saved from the Devour. But Gorica has so much damage, it forces them out of the fight.
Gorica saves the day. 3 players will fall from Barrage. They do get the Ocean Drake. So many SolaFide players are low, they're going to need to reset. I don't think they can do Baron. But guess what Winston is moving up as fast as a little legs can carry him to do.
He wants to look at the Baron, TJ. He's been really admiring it for some time. He's been saving up. He doesn't know if he can afford one just yet,
Gorica.
but this
couldn't do it.
Gorica's safe for now. Needs to keep running
the chase.
There's nobody to save him. He just needs to sprint away.
Yep, there's a turret nearby. He's smited. He can't get away. Wilbur the cleanse is stunned up, is gone. That could be it. The team fight threat is over, and SolaFide successfully grabbed the Baron.
Okay, let's look at the Ocean Drake fight. Fnatic just got slammed against the wall, wasn't able to find the smite, but for some reason Gorica's auto took it, so great work there from Gorica. From here, the fight gets split in 2 directions. There's up towards the north and up towards the south. Dokla
bring us back to
destroy them.
Bring us back to live if we can, because there is turrets falling around the inhibitor at this point.
Inhibitor's falling at this point.
Inhibitor's falling at this point as we do catch the end of that replay. A deep dive underneath the turret will grab PCL. The mid lane inhibitor is down. Top will follow. Gorica has just respawned. That's the cue for SolaFide to get out of here.
So they did get at least one inhibitor. I don't see in the mid game or mid lane whether they got it or not, but that is...
They did.
Okay, so they got 2. This is huge for the side of SolaFide, especially after they played around the Baron for so long. I was like poking fun at them, but it worked in the end. So maybe I'm the idiot. Probably. I know I am, but it really was, they finally found something to initiate a fight that could result in the Baron. That was the problem they were working through the entire time, right? They were just like, okay, maybe we sneak the Baron here while they're distracting.
They needed Barrage to step up and stake themselves on something, otherwise they didn't have the tools to chase down the fight. And Barrage do that with that Drake, right? They step up and to their credit, successfully get the Drake. Neither of us are entirely clear how, but they have, by that point, invested so much into it that SolaFide are actually able to engage and find a tangible fight.
And that was what SolaFide were waiting for. So now they find 2 inhibitors off of it. But again, my question is, how well will they be able to push in the last one? You obviously have 1 lane left to focus on, and then in mid and top, you just push the waves in, wait for someone to go respond. And then the most logical thing to do is then push for that bottom lane. Gorica does have a lot of wave clear, though. That's the big thing, big asterisk going around this play.
Here we go. Turret down bottom will fall. Doppler in the front line, zone back. Inhibitor down bottom will fall. PCL starts the fight.
Looking for the re-engage, won't be able to find it. Doppler goes in. So does PCL, finds a little bit. There it is, Onslaught of Shadows from Fnatic into the back, finds 2.
Gorica's down!
Shut down Gorica, and now the fight for Barrage has gone all kinds of wrong. Doppler running into the front lines, trying to find Fnatic. They're in the fountain, so no kills will be found, but these Nexus towers are going down fast, and SolaFide take the series up to 2-1 in this semi-final best of 5.
We're trading games 1-1. Barrage take game 2, and SolaFide hit back strong with game number 3, running it all the way back for a devastating early game. And that makes one thing clear: you won't want to miss it.